Welcome back to Chelley&Nay, where you know when we're on.
It's poppin', y'all.
If you're new to our channel, welcome. We love you already. So today, guys, we are going to be talking about one of the worst things ever made. Relationship weight.
But it comes from a good thing.
Yeah.
The worst thing can come from the best thing.
You're absolutely right. But before we get into this topic, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell if you're nasty, and don't forget to
Tell your besties, guys. Tell everyone you know about Chelley&Nay because we are on the road to 3K, guys. Let's go.
And don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms. So as Nay said, relationship weight actually does come from a really good place. It's just such a horrible thing.
I mean,
and it's real, by the way.
It's definitely very real. And I mean, it can be horrible, but it can also just be a good thing because I feel like I've always been a person that's been very concerned about my weight and very, very focused on looking a certain way, feeling a certain way, yes, but in the past it was mostly looking a certain way, and I definitely did it for all the wrong reasons, or just like no reason, not a good enough reason, I would say. Since being with Chelley, I've kind of gone up and down in weight. I think we probably both have.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of it is from just feeling happy and comfortable and good enough to know that we deserve the burger and fries, and that we can skip a day of working out, and that, you know, if we don't eat 8 pounds of vegetables with every meal, it's still gonna be okay, you know, which is a great thing. And I feel like it really requires you to be in a good headspace to know that it's fine to just eat, because it's also a means of survival. I feel like when you get with the right person, you also understand that eating is a good thing, and that there shouldn't be this whole thing about not eating and what you shouldn't eat. And I don't know, I don't even know if I'm making sense, but
no, you're passionate, it's cool.
Hey, thank you, babe. I am. I do feel passionate about it, especially because Chelley and I definitely have our good and bad moments, obviously, like anybody when it comes to food. Obviously, we're both in the health and wellness fitness industry, so, you know, there's always kind of this, almost a pressure to sort of uphold a certain standard in terms of our health and how much we prioritize eating the right things and exercising and doing all these perfect wellness things that make us feel great every day. But, you know, at the end of the day, we are people too. We're just normal people who have found a passion for those things, but it's also like we try not to get too engrossed in it, because we're also balance is key people too, right?
I definitely have to say that I was at my fittest before I got into a relationship with Nay, but it's not her fault. You were also at your, like, I guess, goal weight at the time.
I was.
But I feel like, when we've discussed this before, that's why I'm saying it, you didn't do it in the healthiest way.
I didn't.
Yeah,
no.
and I can't say that I was perfect at all. I just found that for myself, I had a lot more time, because obviously, like, I'm single, whatever. And I was telling Nate the other day, like, I just had this moment where I was like, oh, I'm gonna be single for the rest of my life, whatever, but not in a sad way. It was just kind of a realization, like, oh, who cares? And so I was just doing everything that I want to do, and I was just making the most of my 24 hours. Also, at the time, I was training to become a personal trainer, so it was even more motivation. I was just like, oh, I need to, like, look the part, and I need to reach my goals and this and that before I start taking on clients, and then they're gonna be like, oh, well, what did you do, or da-da-da, whatever, right? So there's the whole thing, yeah. But again, it's about, you have more time to put into yourself, and that's not to say that being with Nay, I don't have that time. She's my greatest support, right? And when we first got together, we were both going to the gym, eating clean, stuff like that. But then again, you get comfortable, you get excited, like, ooh, babe, let's go here. Let's try this 6-patty cheeseburger and whatever it is. Let's try this 8-pound pizza. Yeah. Oh, and do all this stuff, right? And then, you know, the gym starts to become less, and then quarantine hits, and like all these things, right? But again, like before, when I was single, I just had so much time, and I had nothing else to do, right? Like, you don't have anybody to, like, report to, I guess, if you want to put it in those words, especially if you live on your own, right? Because I lived on my own. So I would go to work, and then I would come home and literally go to the gym for 3 hours. I would do 3 classes in a row, and then on my off days I would be weightlifting, and then on the weekends I would be doing yoga. Like, I was just non-stop. Yeah, so I think for the most part I was burning double what I was eating, which I was eating very well because I had a nutritionist at the time and everything like that. So I can say I did do it the right way, but I was going crazy at the gym. I had abs.
Nice one. She still does, even though she likes to act like she doesn't. But I think even like before, like just before in general, before Chelley, I was just kind of obsessed with working out because it was also kind of an escape for me too.
Yeah, that's the thing too, like the biggest stress reliever, right?
Yeah, it was a really good stress reliever. And I think I did need it at that time. And I also think it's good to kind of go on one end of the scale and then the total opposite. Like at one point in my life, I never worked out, like never, didn't touch any type of workout equipment, barely walked, like didn't do anything. And then I suddenly got obsessed with my health and fitness, and then it's like I was at the gym every day.
And that's the thing too, sorry, I just want to jump in before I forget. That's the other thing too, you get that addiction, right?
You do,
like you get, I was like you, like I found that passion for my health and fitness, and I'm like, oh my god, this is it. Like I just want to go crazy with it, and you become obsessed and addicted to it, right? Because you know the natural endorphins, like it makes you high, like it really does. Like I would come home after the 3 hours at the gym and I'd be just like ready to go. I'm like, yeah, like what are we doing, you know?
Exactly.
And people are like, didn't you just go to the gym for 3 hours? Like how are you so hyper? And I'm like, no, but that's what
your therapy. It is that obsession, especially because when you see the results, you're like, okay, if I just keep this up, and I'm already doing it, so it's not even like it's hard to do at that point. You've already created that understanding with your body that, hey, this is what you got to do. You got to keep doing it because that's what I want you to do, and that's how I want to look and feel and all that stuff. So it was good that Chelley achieved her weight loss goals and her body goals in a healthy way. I definitely did not. I was essentially eating 1,000 calories and then making sure I burned 1,000 calories.
Or like 2,000.
Yeah, before I left the gym. And I was super weak. I was super tired all the time. I didn't have any energy and I just wasn't happy. It's like, you know, you think you get to this place where you're like the smallest you've ever been or the fittest or whatever that means to you guys. And it's just like, okay, and what? No energy, not actually happy, not even like happy with what you see in the mirror because you're just like, what's all this for if I don't even feel good? And you know what I mean? There's just so many things going on. So for me to be with Chelley now and to be at the weight I currently am is actually an accomplishment for me because I've just had so many struggles with weight. We're talking about relationship weight, but I feel like I also kind of turned it into like my
weight loss journey,
sort of certain type of eating disorders. So it's hard to deal with disordered eating because you just don't.
And let's not make this taboo, guys. Like I honestly, like I have a food addiction. I'll just come out straight and say it. Like, you know,
absolutely.
It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just real of an addiction as anything else. And and again, I feel like when I was going crazy at the gym and really, you know, watching what I ate and stuff like that, I would have my treat days, but it would be kind of like, it wouldn't do anything to me. It wouldn't affect me because I was going so crazy at the gym. It was just kind of, you know what, Casper? If you watch Casper, comment down below, and they're just eating the big feast, and then it's all on the floor because they're ghosts.
I've seen Casper, but I didn't know that was the thing.
Yeah, so it just goes straight through them because they're ghosts, right? So anyways, that's kind of like what it was for me. So it's kind of like one addiction replaced the other, and that's the problem that I struggled with. It's gonna be a lifetime situation. So it's not like it's just gonna go away one day. Maybe it will, but at least for us, it's just something that we just have to control. Like as long as we have the control over it. Because I feel like either way, you're kind of out of control. Like if you're going to the gym that crazy and then, you know, you're eating well or whatever, but it's that obsession and addiction. It's like measuring to the T. I was measuring everything I was eating. I did it for a long time, and again, I was enjoying it at the time. It's not like I was crying about it. I was really enjoying it, but it's still in your mind, it's still addiction. So I don't know if it's healthier to be that way, or you know, there's always something that is going to be imperfect about what you're doing.
It's true. That's also why I really cherish this relationship we have too, because I feel like I've figured out what balance actually means now. Everything in moderation is always fine, you know, and fine, like if I'm like 20 pounds heavier from when I was my fittest and that's my relationship weight, then also so be it. Like I'm also a lot happier, a lot healthier mentally and physically actually. Like I have to say, like there are certain physical things that I've achieved that I never thought I would be able to do. So, you know, there's kind of just pros and cons, I feel like, to every stage we go through in our life. So
and again, like going back to what Nay said, it does come from happiness. And I remember I was menstruating and I told Nay, I'm like, okay, so we just have to be unhappy to be at our fittest. I was just like having a moment. And it's so funny because we don't actually have to, right? And we encourage each other, you know, we work out together, and if we don't feel like working out, then we don't. But we eat clean, and if we feel like having a treat, then we do. But like, you know, we support each other, and we try not to go overboard anymore and stuff, and we're getting that balance back. Which is great, and it's okay to be happy in a relationship, but you also don't have to let yourself go too. That's another thing that I did wanted to just throw in there, because it doesn't have to be this damaging thing, right? And we always tell each other, like, because we've both been pretty overweight, and like I'm sure that you guys, I'll just talk about myself, I'm sure you guys have seen like weight gain in me, like up and down and stuff, and it just happens. And for me, I gain weight in weird areas, like my face will just look swollen. And even at my thinnest, like my face is just still like chubby, like I just have that kind of shape. I don't know, I have that figure. Yeah, but I'm not like upset about it or anything. I know it, right? But Nay and I always told each other that we wouldn't let the other get out of hand. Like I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to word it. No,
that's a good way to say it.
Yeah, because we've both been heavier before, so we were telling each other, like, you know, if I notice something, I'll just say like, hey babe, you want to work out, or you want to like eat clean for a little bit, or like whatever. It's not that we eat poorly, it's like we can eat clean, but we'll just have double portions, or like, we might just, you know, not go so hard at our workouts, you know, or we'll skip a couple workouts in the week, you know. But anyways, it's again, it's not excuses we're trying to make, it's just this is what happens, right? Because we're happy, it's like, oh, but I'd rather just be on the couch with you and da-da-da-da.
Right. And you know, and that's another form of us really caring and loving for each other, that, you know, we discuss it amongst ourselves, like, hey babe, if you notice A, B, C, D, E, F, G about me, then you need to tell me, because at that point I've lost control. Like I have no more control, so you need to, if you can help me kind of regain that control. And I still know it's up to that person individually. I personally, like, if you don't want to hear it from your partner, that's totally fine, but I want Chelley to tell me certain things about me, just because that's when I know that I've gone too far, and that's not a place I want to go. I just want to be in a place where there's a lot of balance, and some days are good, some days are bad, and that's totally fine. But for the most part, we're achieving balance, you know, and balance means enjoying life with also keeping in mind that we still want to be healthy, and we still want to be around for a long time. We still want to be able to do things when we're 300 years old, you know?
Yeah, and that's the thing. And even when we are eating a little bit too much, we're still having lots of greens. We're still having our flax, our chia, our like probiotics, all that stuff. Like we're drinking water, you know, it's just, we do all of our health things, we're just eating a little bit more. Like, like, you know?
Exactly.
It's all in the way that you say it. Like, don't, with your partner or with your friends or your family, don't be like, oh, we should probably hit the gym. Like, who does that? Guys, don't do that. Or why don't you put the ice cream down? No, there's a way to say it,
or
right?
didn't you just eat? That's the one I hate the most. Like, don't ever tell someone or ask someone, didn't you just eat? Because you know damn well they just ate. Just let them be, first of all. It's like, okay, the other thing is, guys, just to quickly intercept, you also just, we say this because we're in a relationship, we're in a partnership, we understand each other's needs and wants and histories and et cetera, but you also just can't dive into someone's history in terms of their eating, because you don't know what they've dealt with, you don't know what they're going through or currently going through. This is a very sensitive subject. Also, you just need to be very, very careful. You don't know that someone's gonna spiral based on something you said,
and it could be the smallest thing too.
So please, also, if you just wouldn't want to hear it, don't say it,
right? You know what I mean? If you know that if it was said to you, you would get upset or emotional or be hurt by it, just don't say it to somebody else. Even if you think they can handle it because they have thick skin or whatever, don't do it, because some people are just good at not showing it. For example, with Nay and I, if we're just feeling a way about ourselves and how we're doing with our fitness or with our healthy eating and stuff like that, we'll just be like, oh, I think I'm just gonna make a salad, do you want one? Or I'm gonna skip now, I'm gonna go on the bike, do you want to join me? Stuff like that. Like, obviously not both of us on the bike at the same time, like, hello. But anyways, but just working out in general, there's ways to say it, or oh babe, do you want to go for a walk or whatever. It's just very simple. You don't even have to touch on the subject. It's just kind of making better habits for yourself, and then your partner will kind of catch on to that and join you. And if they don't, then they don't, and you guys just work through that the way that you choose to work through that. But
I agree.
These are just the ways that we treat each other and how, you know, we get back into better habits. Right now, I personally feel like we're in a really healthy place.
Yeah, I think so too. I think, you know, we've just found a good medium. It's really just about supporting each other also. I just hope all of you guys, your partners now or your current partners, your future partners, whatever.
Or even just the people you live with.
The people you live with, yeah. I just hope you guys have a, you know, good group of people around you, just because we all do need that, especially during these times, guys. This pandemic is just going crazy on us all.
In some, relationship weight is a real thing. It is not a myth, but it doesn't have to be a horrible thing. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. We love you so much. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell if you're nasty, and don't forget to
tell your besties, guys. Tell everyone you know about Chelley&Nay, because we're on the road to 3K, you guys. Let's get there by the end of March, okay? I'm putting it out there. 3,000 of you cuties by the end of March. That gives us like almost a month, so let's go.
And please don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms. Later, Kedz! Don't forget to check out our latest videos.